Socrates. Socrates, born in Athens, Greece, in 469 BC, was a foundational figure in Western philosophy, renowned for his contributions to ethics, epistemology, and dialectical reasoning. His father was a stonemason, and his mother was a midwife. Though little is known about his childhood, he served as a soldier in the Peloponnesian War. Socrates is best known for the Socratic method, a form of questioning aimed at uncovering assumptions and encouraging critical thinking. Unlike other philosophers of his time, Socrates left no written works. His ideas are known through the writings of his students, especially Plato. Socrates believed in the pursuit of wisdom and emphasized the importance of virtue for a meaningful life, famously stating, "The unexamined life is not worth living." He challenged the moral complacency and intellectual arrogance of his peers, advocating for self-knowledge and ethical introspection. Socrates rejected materialism and lived modestly, engaging with the public in discussions. In 399 BC, Socrates was tried and executed for allegedly corrupting the youth and being impious. He defended his beliefs courageously and accepted his death by drinking poison, becoming a martyr for free thought. Socrates' legacy profoundly influenced Western philosophy, shaping the works of Plato, Aristotle, and others, and his emphasis on reason, dialogue, and ethics remains central to education and philosophy. Plato, born in Athens around 428/427 BC to a wealthy and influential family, was a monumental figure in Western philosophy. A student of Socrates and the teacher of Aristotle, Plato's philosophical outlook was shaped by the political turmoil of Athens and the execution of Socrates. He founded the Academy in Athens, one of the first institutions of higher learning in the Western world. Plato's works, written as dialogues, feature Socrates as a central figure and explore ethics, politics, metaphysics, epistemology, and education. His most famous work, The Republic, outlines his vision of a just society ruled by philosopher kings and introduces the theory of forms, which posits that the material world is a shadow of a higher, unchanging reality. Plato emphasized reason, truth, and virtue, advocating for enlightened leadership and the transformative power of education, as illustrated in his allegory of the cave. Plato's ideas profoundly influenced Christian theology, political theory, and philosophy. His academy remained a hub of intellectual activity for centuries, shaping thinkers like Aristotle. Plato died around 347 BC, and his works continue to inspire discussions on ethics, politics, and reality. Aristotle, born in 384 BC in Stagira, Greece, was a philosopher whose work shaped Western thought across disciplines like science, ethics, politics, and metaphysics. The son of a royal physician, Aristotle's early exposure to medicine sparked his interest in the natural world. Orphaned as a child, he moved to Athens at 17 to study at Plato's Academy, where he spent 20 years. Although influenced by Plato, Aristotle emphasized empirical observation and rejected Plato's theory of forms. After Plato's death, Aristotle traveled, conducted biological research, and later tutored Alexander the Great in Macedonia. Around 335 BC, he founded the Lyceum in Athens, where he taught and conducted research. Aristotle's works, such as Nicomachean Ethics and Politics, explore virtue, governance, and the organization of society. He emphasized reason, moderation, and practical wisdom, proposing the concept of the golden mean, a balanced, virtuous life. Aristotle's systematic observation laid the groundwork for modern science, and his theories of causation and cosmology influenced medieval and Renaissance thought. He died in 322 BC, leaving a legacy as one of history's greatest intellectual figures. Confucius, born in 551 BC in the state of Lu, modern Shandong, China, was a Chinese philosopher whose teachings shaped the moral and social fabric of East Asia. Raised in modest circumstances after his father's death, Confucius developed a love of learning, studying history, music, and traditional religious practices. As a teacher, Confucius attracted disciples who sought guidance on ethics, governance, and proper conduct. His philosophy centered on virtue, moral integrity, and harmonious social relationships. He emphasized 5 core virtues: benevolence, righteousness, propriety, wisdom, and faithfulness. These principles formed the foundation of Confucianism, which deeply influenced Chinese society and governance. Confucius believed in education's transformative power and advocated for rulers to lead by moral example. Though his political ambitions were unfulfilled, his ideas gained prominence after his death in 479 BC, especially during the Han Dynasty, when Confucianism became the state philosophy. His teachings, compiled in the Analects, continue to shape ethical thought and governance worldwide. Augustine of Hippo. Augustine, born on November 13, 354 in Roman North Africa, was an early Christian philosopher whose ideas profoundly shaped Western Christianity. Raised by a pagan father and a devout Christian mother, Augustine pursued rhetoric and philosophy in Carthage. Initially skeptical of Christianity, he explored Manichaeism and Neoplatonism before converting to Christianity in 386 under the influence of Bishop Ambrose of Milan and his mother's prayers. Augustine became the Bishop of Hippo in 395 and authored major works like Confessions, an introspective autobiography, and The City of God, a defense of Christianity. His philosophy addressed the nature of God, free will, and the problem of evil, emphasizing divine grace for salvation. Augustine's integration of Christian doctrine with Neoplatonism shaped medieval thought and Western theology. He died on August 28, 430, during the Siege of Hippo, leaving a legacy as one of Christianity's most influential thinkers. René Descartes. René Descartes, often called the father of modern philosophy, was a French philosopher, mathematician, and scientist. Born in 1596 in La Haye and Touraine, now Descartes, France, he was the youngest of 3 children in a moderately wealthy family. After losing his mother at a young age, he was raised by his grandmother. Descartes excelled in mathematics and classical studies at the Jesuit College of La Flèche, and later earned a law degree from the University of Poitiers. His philosophical ideas, such as those in Discourse on the Method and Meditations on First Philosophy, emphasized rationalism and introduced his famous assertion, cogito, ergo sum, I think, therefore I am. Descartes developed Cartesian dualism, distinguishing between mind and body, which had profound implications for philosophy, psychology, and science. He also introduced the Cartesian coordinate system, foundational to modern calculus and analytical geometry. In 1649, Descartes moved to Sweden to tutor Queen Christina, but succumbed to pneumonia in 1650. His legacy endures in philosophy, mathematics, and science. John Locke. John Locke, an English philosopher, was a key figure in shaping modern political systems and thought. Born in 1632 in Rington, Somerset, he grew up in a Puritan household. Locke's education at Westminster School and Christ Church, Oxford, focused on philosophy, medicine, and natural sciences. He collaborated with prominent scientists like Robert Boyle and became a Fellow of the Royal Society. Locke's major works include an essay concerning human understanding and 2 treatises of government. He argued that the mind is a blank slate at birth, with knowledge derived from sensory experience and reflection, laying the foundation for empiricism. His political philosophy, emphasizing natural rights to life, liberty, and property, inspired the American and French revolutions. Locke's influence extends to modern liberalism, constitutionalism, and educational theories. He passed away in 1704, leaving a lasting legacy in philosophy and politics. David Hume. David Hume, a Scottish philosopher born in 1711 in Edinburgh, is renowned for his empiricism and skepticism. Entering the University of Edinburgh at age 12, Hume rejected traditional ideas, focusing on philosophy and literature. His major work, a treatise of human nature, argued that all knowledge derives from sensory experience, challenging innate ideas. Hume's views on causation, morality, and religion were groundbreaking but controversial. He authored the history of England and influenced political economy, shaping thinkers like Adam Smith. Despite initial lack of recognition, Hume's later years were comfortable, and he died in 1776. His legacy endures in philosophy, psychology, and political theory. Immanuel Kant. Immanuel Kant, a German philosopher born in 1724 in Königsberg, now Kaliningrad, Russia, revolutionized Western philosophy. Raised in a modest pietist household, Kant studied philosophy, mathematics, and science. His critical philosophy, beginning with Critique of Pure Reason, bridged rationalism and empiricism. He introduced the categorical imperative, a cornerstone of moral philosophy. Kant's works, including Critique of Practical Reason and Critique of Judgment, emphasized human autonomy, rationality, and moral responsibility. His influence shaped metaphysics, ethics, and aesthetics, inspiring thinkers like Hegel and Marx. Kant lived a disciplined life in Königsberg and passed away in 1804, leaving a legacy as a cornerstone of Western thought. Jean-Jacques Rousseau. Jean-Jacques Rousseau, a Swiss-born philosopher, writer, and composer, was a major influence on the Enlightenment and the French Revolution. Born in 1712 in Geneva, Rousseau lost his mother shortly after birth and was abandoned by his father at age 10. Supporting himself through various jobs, he eventually became a prominent thinker. Rousseau's major works include The Social Contract and Émile, which explored human nature, freedom, and society. He argued that humans are naturally good but corrupted by civilization. His ideas on education and political authority inspired revolutionary changes and progressive educational theories. Rousseau died in 1778, but his vision of freedom and equality continues to resonate.